Alrighty, hello. Let me just make sure this is all working. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Hi folks, how you doing? This is Yasmin. And okay, so I can see the video is there. Great stuff. Alrighty, well, hello and welcome. I am so excited to welcome you to the Big Reset. Woo! Listen. This is a 3-part series where I want to really help you get your head in and heart into gear for the next few months of this year, and of course set you up for success in 2022. I can't believe I'm saying that. But for those of you that don't know me, maybe this is the first time you've ever watched any of my videos. I'm Yasmin Vorajee. I'm the creator of Tiny Time Big Results, where I work with coaches, consultants, expert service providers, and I show you how to run a profitable 20-hour-week business. And you know what? There may be a part of you that's feeling like, oh, I'm still a little bit in holiday mode. Maybe there's a part of you that's thinking, you know, I'm raring to go, I'm chomping at the bit, but you just don't know where to start. And I have to be honest with you, you know, I kind of have been in that space as well, where it's the summer. The kids have been at, you know, doing summer camps and all that kind of stuff, but they go back to school in a couple of weeks. Oh, actually less than that. And, you know, a lot of people look at September as the start of a new year, if you like. And so I've been really tired, and it was like, okay, we need to just be able to rest and recharge, but also I want you to be thinking about what comes next. And so I got this idea that I wanted to do this 3-part series for you called the Big Reset. Now, I've given myself a challenge, because basically what I've said to myself is, I want to give you this 3-part series, but like me, you know, you've got tiny time as well. So I'm challenging myself to do these in 10 minutes. So each one will be 10 minutes. So we're going to do part 1 today. Part 2 is next Thursday. So you can mark it in your calendars. And then there'll be the 3rd part a week later. Okay, but they're just going to be 10 minutes. I hope. I have been known to talk a lot, so I might get a bit excited and I might go over the 10 minutes, but this is my challenge for myself, because I really want to give you something that's going to be short, sharp, and gets to the point. And essentially what I want to do is I want you to get excited about what's coming up for you, right? I don't have to say this to you, and well, I'm going to say it anyway. But, you know, it has not been an easy time. Certainly over the last 18 months, you know, there's been a lot of stuff going on, and the world continues to just be crazy. And, you know, for those of us who had the extra demands of, you know, kids being homeschooled, businesses struggling, you know, some businesses thrived, some businesses struggled. We know we had all these restrictions. I still haven't seen my family yet. You know, there's been a lot of stuff going on. And one of the things that can be really hard about that is, you know, you can feel that sense of helplessness. Let me know in the comments if, you know, you resonate with this. Like, you know, there can be a part of you that feels like, what can I do? You know, what can I do? Especially when you think of what's going on in the world. And, you know, that helplessness can sometimes seep into everything. And for me, a big part of doing the Big Reset was really around thinking about what is it that we are in control of. So we're in control of our emotions. We're in control of the way that we respond. We're in control of our businesses. We're in control of our home lives. You know, so let's focus on what we can actually affect change with. And, you know, one of the things that really makes me passionate about doing my business is, you know, really helping the business owners, helping women out there to really understand how to create massive value and get well paid for it. So you're creating that financial independence. So you are really creating the life that you dream of and that you deserve. Okay. And so that's a big part of my mission and my message. So I'm really excited about doing this with you. Now, like I said, there will be about 10 minutes long. I say that with a giggle. And but there will be time for questions. So I will be hanging around. So if you're watching this live, then please do pop your questions below this video, wherever you're watching it right now. And also, if you're watching this as a replay, just do #replay, tag me, and let me know your comments and your questions, because trust me, I'll be going back and I love to hear from you. I love to get your comments and let me know what's resonating, or if you're thinking, nah, I'm grand, thanks, Yasmin. I really want to hear from you. Okay, so what's the big reset all about? So like I said, it's a 3-part series. And the structure of it is, today is part 1, and we are going to be talking about review. Part 2 next week is called Recalibrate, and then part 3 a week later on the 2nd of September. If you're watching these live, then that's the reset. So I've got some really juicy things that I want you to do, and there's a reason why they're spaced apart, because I don't want to just give you a ton of information. I actually want you to do this, because this is where the magic happens, when you start implementing. Okay, so this is important, because anytime you do any kind of planning, now I've been in training and coaching and leadership development for over 20 years now, and one of the things that we always do is we're always planning, doing, and reviewing. But I don't want you to always be in doing mode, which is pretty much the default mode for most business owners. I want you to think about what you are actually going to do, but you can't think to what you're going to do, like, in the next few months, if you don't stop and look back at where you've come from. And this is common, right? If you do this, you're not alone. But what I see is people saying, well, I should be where, here, and I'm still not there. And what we do, we're so busy looking at all the things that we haven't achieved yet, that we never look back and think of all the things that we have achieved. And this is really, really important. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. I want you to take stock of where you are right now. And that is part 1. That's step 1 of this big reset. Okay, it's the review piece of it, right? So there's 3 parts to the 3 sections, I'll call it, in case you get confused. There's 3 sections to this, right? So we're looking at review. The first thing I want you to do is inventory. I want you to take stock of where you are right now. Okay, so think back from the last 8 months, and I want you to look at your business, and I want you to think about, where am I right now? Now I'm saying that this is coming into the summer, we're coming out of the summer. Like, you can do this at any stage in the calendar year. This is about getting really clear, and you could do this on a quarterly basis, you can do this on a monthly basis, but it's so important to just take the time out to kind of go, okay, where are we right now? I mean, some people run their businesses on a 30-day cycle, 6-week cycle, so it's up to you. The principles apply regardless of when you do it. So where are you right now? And I want you to take stock of that, in terms of how much money have you made this year. Okay, and I know that can sometimes be a little bit uncomfortable for people, because you're thinking, oh, I don't want to look at that. But I want you to look at that. I want you to take a really honest look at where your business is. How many clients have you worked with this year? One of the things that I want to always look at is, what's my marketing been like? What's my sales process been like? This can sometimes feel a little bit uncomfortable, because sometimes we don't want to know the answer, but it's so worthwhile to do. Even if you don't like what you see, please do take the time to actually do this, right? So where are you right now? And take stock and just think, okay, how much money have I made? How many clients have I sold? How many clients have I booked? And think about the measurements that would be applicable to you in your business, right? If you're thinking about leads, how many people, how much have you grown your audience by? These are all the KPIs, the key performance indicators that you want to be thinking about. And if you haven't got those, then think about what 3 to 5 key performance indicators you could have in your business that would help you to determine the success, or it's almost like a health audit of your business. So where are you right now? So first of all, you're taking inventory. And you think, where are we right now? Okay, so the reason why there's a week gap, because it might just take you a little bit of time to do this, so worth it. Then secondly, the second section is satisfaction. Okay, now you might think this is a little bit of a strange one. What does Yasmin mean about that? Well, here's what I mean, right? How satisfied are you with where you are right now? Okay, there might be, based on your inventory, you might look at that and go, I am not satisfied at all, right? And that's okay. I can understand that. But you know, the thing with when you're planning in your business, and you know, we give ourselves loads of sticks to beat ourselves up with. Would you agree? We give ourselves sticks to beat ourselves up with all the time. And what we do is we give ourselves all the reasons why we're really bad at what we're doing, right? Always happens. And so instead of doing that, why not actually give yourself that mindset shift of saying, do you know what? I'm satisfied with where I am right now, because you know what? You are where you are. That's the truth of it, right? And if you believe in divine timing, then you're exactly where you are meant to be right now. You're exactly where you are meant to be right now. Okay. So I want you to actually look at where you are. When you've done your inventory, look at that and go, actually, you know what? I'm happy with where I am right now. And actually believe that and be true to that. Okay. Then the third part of this process is I want you to take an honest look at what you have achieved over this period of time and just ask yourself two questions. What worked? What didn't? Right? When you're reviewing, it's really important to look at what worked, what didn't. One of my mentors years ago, she used to do this process called the Groundhog Day process. You know, the film with Bill Murray. I love this film. And, you know, he keeps waking up and he keeps doing the same thing until he realizes, and then he does things differently. And so often we're trapped in that analogy. I love this film because it's so, it's just so powerful. But think about that. You know, if you're still doing the same stuff over and over again and you're not getting the results that you want, then chances are you need to do something different, which is why this part of the process, the honesty part, which is what I call it, is look at it and say, what worked, what didn't? And if you look at how you got clients, was it through doing webinars? Was it through doing challenges? Was it through doing speaking engagements? Was it through your blog? Like if you're churning out blogs and nothing is happening as a result of that, then stop doing the blogs. Don't do them. You need to find what works and do more of that and discard the stuff that doesn't work. Okay. So there's the three aspects of this of review, right? So you take an inventory, get satisfied with where you are right now, because that is where you are and you can't fight that and you shouldn't fight that. And thirdly, get really honest. What worked, what didn't? Now, what we're going to do in our session next week, look, I'm not doing too badly on time, am I? What we're going to do next week is we're going to recalibrate. We're going to look at where you want to be in the next, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months. I want you to look at where you want to be. And that's exactly what we're going to be focusing on. So that's it for today's part one of review. So take inventory, get satisfied, and get honest. Next week, we're going to be looking at recalibration. Okay, so let me have a quick look and see if we have any. No, this hasn't. Let me see now. Okay, can't see. I'm just going to check and see if we have any questions. So, okay. So that's it. I can't see any questions coming through. So if you're thinking about this, I know I've talked quite fast today, but do that. And what I want you to do, this is your assignment. Come and comment underneath this video and tell me that you've done it, right? In preparation for part 2. All right, my lovely. Listen, take care. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you next week, same time, for part 2, Recalibrate. All right, take care. Bye.